Okay,
Sweet.
trendsetters, welcome back to another little chat with the hat. We've got another driver here who's out there living the dream, screaming around his open wheeler. Reef McCarthy, you all know him. We've been pushing Reefy for the last few years. He's had a couple of goes with Super 3s and Super 2s, or just Super 3s?
Super threes, we did a full season, and then I did jump in a Super Two for a one-off round at Bathurst.
The wild card. All right, so welcome, Reef, to the chat with the hat. We're going to wrap up last weekend's racing up at Morgan Park in Queensland in the sunny state. So you guys dragged your car up there, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, we it was good. The Morgan Park put on a free test day on Wednesday for us, so we started the journey on Monday and took us 2 days to get up there for the Wednesday practice. What was awesome because it wasn't too many guys out on track, so it was a pretty clear track, and just got so many laps to really learn the track and tune in the car for it. And yeah, it went really well.
Yeah, this is the first time you've seen Morgan Park, isn't it?
Yeah, yep. It was first time on Wednesday, and awesome track actually, real driver's track. The it's got some big straights, but not enough to do full toe moves, so still makes some real hard racing and some good defense as well.
Yeah, I love it. I've been up there a couple of times now with my mate Mark, who you met up there, the president for Queensland Formula Vee. Oh yeah, for everybody, the reason Reef was up there, it was a part of your national series, part of your national rounds up there. So there's a few of the New South Wales boys up there, and girl, your minor, and yourself from Vic. You're the only guy. You're the only representative from down south, down here in Mexico.
Yeah, the only guy from Vic. There was a few New South Wales blokes and me from Vic, and we all headed up for the journey, and it was good racing.
Love it. All right, so let's kick off then. Let's kick off with the Saturday. So practice was all good. Everything was happy with practice. Nobody sort of caused too much grief. Everything was fine. Nobody hit anybody in practice, which is always a win. Saturday we had it was three races on Saturday. Two.
Two on Saturday.
Two on Saturday, two on Sunday, but only three of them counted over the weekend. The first three were part of your national series, and the fourth one on Sunday was not part of the points. So
yeah, correct. So yeah, we jumped into qualifying on Saturday, and that went pretty well. It's with the high UV there, and there was a bit of heat on track. We only got about 3 or 4 laps to really set a time before the tyres went off. So being a 30-minute qualifying, though, we were able to come in and then have another crack and another go at a lap time. But yeah, I set my quickest lap in quali. I think it was the second lap out. Was able to get a little bit of a tow for about a third of the track or so, and that helped me boost it into P1 for most of the session. But yeah, then got jumped by another competitor about towards the end of the session. So we headed back out and tried to set another lap, but by then the tyres were pretty shot, and wasn't able to do any better. But we started off the front road just in second, P2 on the outside for race 1. What was awesome, also started there for race 2. And race 1 was, it really kicked off there. It was between Michael and Tyron, us three up the front. It was a real hard, close battling the whole entire weekend. But I think race 1, we all were there to prove a good point, and kind of tried to put our best foot forward. I think I led, probably like 6 or 7 of the laps out of the 10 lapper. Did get jumped towards the end, and ended up coming home in second behind Michael. And from there,
fast.
No, he
like all three of you at the top, Wiseman, Kinsella, and you guys had everybody covered from Queensland. Like they were just tucked in behind, but you three were just in a league of your own.
Yeah, it was good to head up there. I think for all of us, we're kind of all in the same boat. I know Michael's been there before, but it has been quite a few years since he's been there. And for me and Tyron, I think it was our first time up there. So we're all in the same boat. trying to learn a new track and also set fast times, and we all ended up the front again. Also, that was the same at Winton in the first round. And yeah, it was good hard battling throughout the first race, and then continued on throughout the weekend into race 2, where I did end up making a little mistake. I tried to go around the outside to get into first place, and yeah, it didn't quite work out. I had an excursion off track and jumped
You were
in.
mowing some lawns, mate. You were
Yeah,
the roofs off the side of the circuit.
yeah. I think I got back on in 6th. I was able to work my way back to 3rd before the end of the race, but just ran out of laps to catch the front 2. And then yeah, race 3 was awesome. Went really well. It was was able to get the win in race 3. It was good. So 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for the weekend were the results. And yeah, race 3 was a real defensive drive. The track, even though it's got quite a few long straights and long sweeping corners, it's fairly easy to defend your line throughout the track. So once I got in first, it was just about defending, and yeah, it was about a solid 9 laps of side by side through quite a few corners, but I was able to hold on to it. And yeah, we came away with some decent points. What was good, could have been a little bit better if things went perfect, but overall was still a real good weekend. And it's always good when you can go side by side with people, but still come home with a car in one piece. What was perfect, I don't think, out of the whole entire grid, I don't think we didn't have any red flags, and there was I don't think there was really any crashes throughout the weekend.
There's a couple down the back a little bit, but they didn't really affect it. Anybody else? They were more a one on, apart from when you got like rear-ended.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no yellows being shown for a spun car as you try to tighten up and avoid it, but avoid a big one. Actually, it would have been a fairly tangle of wheels and control arms.
Yeah, that was in practice. So
yeah, had nowhere to go.
Yeah, so had a driver behind that was in the same boat as me. We're going through corner 1, 2. What's quite it's almost it's just a bit of a lift through 1 and then to a hard braking zone into 2. What's quite a tight right-hander. But corner 1 on the exit, it flows you to the exit of the track, to the outside, and there was a car sitting in the middle of the track, and no yellow flags meant that me and the driver behind were going into there very hot, and sadly just nowhere to go for Curtis behind me. I jumped on the brakes. He didn't see what was happening, and a bit of a hit what bent the muffler and the collector, but luckily to get away with minimal damage, no gearbox change or anything, what was great. And he got away without too much damage as well. So we're lucky, but it was definitely an eventful weekend with a lot of battles, a little bit of damage, but luckily not too much.
Oh, mate, it's only mufflers. We all know you think they're optional anyway. Sometimes you throw them off.
Yeah, as lately.
Like, look, I think that was Sandown, wasn't it? Looking there going, whose muffler's that? Oh, it's Reef's. What's it doing out there? Don't know. It's in the middle of the track.
Yeah, I've lost a few mufflers lately, but that's what happens when you get a bump from behind.
Yeah, that's it. So that was all cool. No, I was watching that third race quite intently because I went up to the bridge there outside of I think it's round 3 as you come out of 2, and you can see the whole circuit, the back side of the circuit. It's a fantastic viewing spot for that track. It's full 360 degrees. You can see everything, and you guys were going swapping lead changes and hunting and fighting, and Kinsella ended up dropping back to 3rd. He must have made a tiny little mistake because Wiseman got him and held 2nd, but you had him under brakes. Wiseman was coming in hot into 1 down that straight every time, trying the outside line, the inside line, everything, and you just outbraked him basically just to fight him off.
Yeah, it was like Wiseman's car is definitely no slug in the straight line. So every time after every straight, we were pretty much battling side by side into corners. But I was lucky that we set our car pretty good for the final laps. So while I think a few of them, like Kinsella, was overheating tyres and struggling with the tyres and managing them, we've set it up pretty well. So it's a little bit slower on the first couple of laps sometimes, but if I can stick with them, we've usually got a good car towards the end of the race. So yeah, it was pretty much just a braking battle every lap between me and Tyron, and I was lucky to position the car usually towards the inside. What meant it made it pretty hard to get around. So it worked out pretty well, and he was super clean and respectful, and didn't try anything too dodgy. So it was good.
Unlike
racing.
yourself in race 2, when you came down 3 or 4 wide and he just centered. Took like both of them on the inside. We were just standing there on the wall watching this going, this isn't going to end well. There's 4 into 1 here. I think McDonald saw that coming. He just rolled right out and went, I'm out of this. Like, I'm not getting involved in the corners. He just came down and blasted past 3 of them and took 2 of them at the turn just for the lead. Came out in the lead after that one move.
Yeah, no, it was that was quite a intense move, but it had to be done. It was that's when I was so that was race 2.
That was the chase back. That was the recovery drive.
Yeah, so that's when I was trying to recover and make up as many positions as possible, and
put you into third.
It was a small gap, but I centered and went for it, and it worked out good. Well, we were able to get the inside into 1, and it was 3 wide, but got to the inside even though it was 2 wheels on the dirt. And,
yeah, which you don't particularly care about. So what was your impression about the ripple strips on the outside of the circuit? That's probably the only circuit that you've seen and where they're that severe.
Yeah. So I found it with a few. I think when we were up at Wakefield as well a few years ago, they were not quite that aggressive, but a little bit more aggressive up here than they are down here in Vic. And so it's real hard on the car, but as always, the fastest lines to use as much of the track as possible. Well, at least that's usually the case, and it was the same around there. So the car's got a bit of a beating. We're using as much of the ripples as possible, and it was it definitely wasn't a smooth ride over them, but it was
especially when they camouflage them under the blue-white paint.
Yeah,
that you saw on the track walk.
Yeah, I was wondering in practice why every time I was getting a bit airborne on the exit of corners, and then I realised it's because I was launching the car on those hidden curves. But yeah, that was glad we did that track walk, or it could have ended badly.
that's when local knowledge is like required.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you wouldn't tell that there's any ripple strips on those painted edges because
no, they were
camouflaged.
Yeah. But the whole weekend was great. It was clean driving from all of us up front, and it was some of the hardest and closest racing I've had in a while, as you expect at a national round. And I just love it. It's always great when you can go side by side with competitors that you don't race too often, and you're all in it to win it. And no one leaves anything on the table. You all go hard, and so you can get to the line first. And it was good to see that a lot of my moves stuck, and I think I put a good foot forward for the rest of the year for the nationals.
So where are you sitting in the standings right now on the national rankings?
So still sitting second at the moment. Michael got a few points on me this weekend. I got a first, a second, and a third. Michael got a first, and a third. It was pretty tight, and there's not too many points in it. So I think it will still come down to the last couple of rounds. It will be interesting to see. I think it's going to come mainly to who can be most consistent and not DNF, and keep it up the pointy end.
Yep, love it. So we'll get to that now. The next round coming up for you is in a couple of weeks down at the glorious institution that is Phillip Island, one of the best tracks that we've ever got in this country. Massive fan of Phillip Island. So you're heading down there for the next round for the state championship.
Yeah, so we're down there for the next round of the state. So that's not this weekend coming, but the one after. So 22nd and 3rd. and fourth, I think it is, including the Friday practice. So yeah, really looking forward to that. It'll be good to be back on my home turf and racing, a lot of our mates and friends and get to see them all. So really looking forward to that. And it'll also be a really good opportunity to get a bit of practice on Phillip Island, seeming that towards the end of the year at Island Magic is going to be not only Island Magic, but also a national round. So that's going to be, good to get a bit of practice for that beforehand.
Yeah, yeah. So you got a pretty good record down there in that fast sweeping circuit down there. As long as you don't get caught up in Lukey again, that'll be all good.
Yes, exactly.
That hurts. Don't do it. It hurts.
Yeah. The record's not too bad in Vic at the moment, so just gonna try to keep consistent. And the points are looking great for the state championship for myself at the moment. So
just you're in the lead comfortably.
Yeah. So just got to stay consistently up the front and not have too many DNFs. And I think the state championship should be good this year. But I think the one that's going to be a nail biter is going to come down to the national rounds. So that'll be interesting. But I think
a lot more strategy in that one.
Yeah, and being on my home turf, I think we'll put up a good fight at Phillip Island. So I'm sure they'll be ready for it.
Yeah, just let them take the lead lap on the lead on the last lap, and then you can slingshot past them and show them that slipstream really does work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was quite. I think that's probably what I found up at Morgan Park. What was the biggest, what I wasn't also used to or expecting is the fact that the straights at Morgan Park are very long, almost like Phillip Island in ways, but just not able to get that tow effect as much as at the island. I don't know if it's the headwind coming off the ocean at Phillip Island or what it is, but the slipstream effect wasn't quite as much of wasn't quite used as much as I was expecting it to. I thought it was going to be almost toe moves straight past at Morgan Park, but it wasn't the case at all. It was only enough to get you beside him. So still had to get it done in the braking zone.
That was evident. Everybody was trying the same thing. You can get up there, but you can't get around. And I'm nervous about that outside line on turn one. I just don't think there's a great deal of joy out there. I know it might set you up for two on the inside, but it's a big risk.
Yes, no, it is.
The marbles out there, out wide.
Yeah, it's issue is obviously when a lot of us up the front were defending pretty hard throughout the rest of the track, and if you set yourself up properly, it is pretty hard everywhere else to get past. The only place where you can really get side by side full on is into one, and you do need some balls and hope there's not too many marbles out there to make it work. And I did have to use it quite a few times throughout the weekend, but I think it's crucial to get yourself into P1 into a good position, because it's if you can lead around there, it's definitely a lot better than trying to get past in second. So
for sure,
had to get it done when we could, and especially tried to utilize that move towards the starter races. Cold tires, even though it sounds dodgy, usually they gave you a little bit more room towards the start of the race. So tried to use it early, get into P1, and then just hold it. That was my game plan.
Yeah, for the most of it, it worked. So it's a good plan. I like your plan. Just get to the front and bugger off. Yeah. Just those national boys aren't going to let you get away. That's the only difference. You guys had a gap, like the top three. And then I think on the third race, the next three, you had a battle pack of 6. That was a cool thing about this entire weekend. You didn't have it all your own way. None of you did. And like Alex and Curtis and stuff, and you minor, didn't let anyone get away. You had a battle pack up the front of anywhere from 5 to 6 cars for the majority of the weekend, which was cool to see.
Yeah, exactly. And especially once we started battling pretty hard up the front, we were just wiping off time off our lap times, what was able to bring the others into contention for it. So what I think the bigger the pack, the better. I like to use my racecraft, and that was my plan throughout the weekend, is to get as many of us up the front as we can and make it a big dogfight. Because that's how I like to race. I like to get as many of us up the front. The more the merrier, and then see if we can get it on the last lap. But didn't quite work. We're still able to pull away us three. What wasn't always a bad thing, but I was definitely pushing to hold us up the front a little bit, just to bring him into it, just to make it a bit more interesting, but didn't always work.
On race 3, that was, yeah, definitely race 3. When you had all 6 of you there.
Yeah. I thought we were battling pretty hard from get-go in that race 3, and once I got ahead on, I think it was the second or third lap, it was kind of just defending and trying to bring the others into the pack. I thought it's the best opportunity to get the most points out of the weekend, is to bring a few more in and try hold the lead, and see where the others come out. But we're still able. It still was me, Michael, and Tyron up front, 1, 2, 3. But it was definitely right on our heels there in that last race.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks for the wrap up. I'm repping the Reef McCarthy 0 edition shirt tonight, because you can't buy these yet. You haven't got yourself a full range of. There we go, everybody. There's your Reef McCarthy shirts. So maybe one day, sure, you'll be able to get a run done and we can sell them. Yeah,
definitely. I'm lucky enough. The old man's quite nifty with his tricks, and he was able to make up a few for us. So I think that's a 1 of 5. So
it's a very limited edition. I feel very privileged to have it on. Thank you. And repping around, I was repping it all weekend on Saturday, Sunday up at Morgan Park, even though I'm actually crew chiefing my mate's car. His Formula Vee, and all the Queenslanders I was hanging out with looking at me going, "What's going on here?" I said, "Yeah, I know, Victorians, mate, we're going to stick together." Yeah, we wound them up a bit.
Yeah, we did too, and it was it was great how they ran that weekend. The whole Queensland Formula Vee community, it was so welcoming, and I think we learned a lot off each other. They were welcoming enough to let me go along for the track walk, and they helped me learn quite a lot just off that, and I tried to give back by telling them lines and what I thought was different and what we could do differently on track. And everyone was just so welcoming and so nice up there. So it was a real good to just be in a nice space, and it not just be about trying to win, but just,
they're a good crew, aren't they? They're a great group.
Yeah,
the Queensland V's. Evidenced by going out to dinner on the Saturday night. Everybody came along for dinner and had a nice casual night and bit of a feed, a couple of beers.
Yep. No, that was awesome. And then same as the Morgan Park, got a hats off to them. All the as always, big thanks to all the flaggies and marshals and all the scrutineers. But they really were on top of their game. They did a great job and kept us safe out there. And it was just run really well. It was a great weekend, and it was great to see how the states do things a little bit differently. And we learned a lot.
Yep, that's great. So I'm glad you drove back. So a couple of days back home, and you literally just got in this afternoon, haven't you?
Yeah, about an hour and a half or 2 hours ago. We just got home. It was a good feeling to finally be back, and believe it or not, the weather wasn't too bad down here either. So that was great as well.
Yeah, I think we dodged the horrible stuff on the weekend. We made the right call.
Yeah.
Just to shoot up to sunny Queensland, 25, 26 degrees each day or something like that. It was beautiful.
Yeah, no, the weather was awesome, and it was good to it's been a while since I've been on a track with such high UV on it. It was the tyre compound and how you manage the tyres actually played a lot more of a role this weekend than I was expecting. It hasn't been like that since summer last year for us when we've been racing down here. So that was another spanner in the works. What was good fun to try and manage and work out what's the best scenario for myself. And good weekend, good learning weekend.
Cool. All right, mate. Well, thanks for taking some time out of your day. I know you just, want to hang out and stop driving and just stop and just relax for the next few days. So I'll see you hopefully down at PI.
Awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't need a reason to go there. It's just magnificent. I love that circuit, and with all things going normal, I'll be able to head down and watch you do your thing, playing up
Sweet.
down there again.
Yeah, we'll have to see you down there then. We'll definitely be there. So pop in. Anyone watching, if they want to pop in, say good day. Everyone's very welcoming down there. So come say good day. We'll be in a
Yeah,
car.
100%. Can't recommend it highly enough, everybody. Get down to PI. You know you love the circuit. You won't see supercars there, but there's better racing, like literally wheel to wheel, better racing in the V's. It's the most entertaining category going around.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. It's
like the Moto 3 in Moto GP, the Moto 3
yeah.
bikes with everyone underpowered, aero, tucking down, dive bombing, 4 lead changes a lap. Like it's just nuts.
Yeah, no, that's a very true. It's, we might not be the fastest things on track, but just due to the toe and the aero and how close all the cars are, we get some real close, hard racing. So it really does come down to the drivers, and it's real good fun. That's why I stick around, and I love the V's.
All right, mate. So coming up in the future, we're still trying to get you back into a roof. We need reef in a roof. We want to get you back up there into Super 2, Super 3s. I mean, we all love V's, but this is not where you want to stay for the rest of your life. So if anybody is looking for one of the fastest, most skillful young drivers to add to their sponsorship portfolio, where can they get a hold of you to come and give you some money, like lots of money?
Probably best place is on Facebook, our racing page, and have a look at that. We always keep up to date with our racing. I'm going to have a video from last weekend up there soon as well. So yeah, check out the page, and
That's Reef McCarthy Racing, all one word.
Yeah, all one word. That's the one.
Beautiful. Reef McCarthy Racing, everybody. Get in touch. Get in touch with me or get in touch with Reef. And come and check him out, because you've already had a few goes, like you said, with the Super 3s. You've been through with Image Racing, associated with the Erebus Academy, and you've done the wildcard. That was with Matty Charter?
No, that was with Image as well, just in the Super 2s. Yeah, that was
Super 2s. Oh,
yeah,
solo.
Yeah, that's when so that's when Jalen jumped into the main game car, and with Matt Charter.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Jalen jumped up, didn't do the double duty.
Yeah.
I think you had about a week or so to work it out.
Yeah, and I jumped in his Super 2 for the round. So yeah, it would be good. It would be awesome to be back into a Super 2 or 3. It's definitely an amazing feeling being in the car, and I think I've got a lot more to prove in it. Did do pretty decent in the Super 3s. Didn't really get an opportunity to have a crack at the Super 2s, but
not with that weather.
No,
last year it was it was ungodly. You guys were sacrificed.
Yeah. No, it was it's pretty crazy conditions up there last year. But yeah, I'd love to have another crack at it and show the pace I've got, not only in a Formula Vee, but also a tin top. So hopefully one day I'll get another crack at it.
Yeah, we get back in the V8s. We could put Reef in the roof. So, like I said, everybody, get in touch with Reef McCarthy Racing on Facebook, or get in touch with me, Chat with a Hat or Dave Haddon. I'm also around in the Erebus Motorsport Army Facebook group. So get in touch with us. Come down and watch what Reef actually does. There's a reason that he's been leading the championship for the last couple of years. Just missed out last year, I think, didn't you, in winning the cookie?
Came down to the wire, the last race of the year, but got something to prove this year now. So,
but you've won 4 Island Magics in a row. Is that right?
Yeah. So this year,
that's a record. No one's done that yet.
This year, obviously, going to have a crack at the 5th.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting race, especially, as I said, it's going to be part of the National Round. So we're going to have all the best of the best of the interstaters come down as well, and it's looking like it's going to be a really big event for the Formula V's.
Big field.
Yeah, we already get mid-20s just in Victoria, and we already know of probably about another 15 drivers that want to come down.
It's going to be mental.
So yeah, going to be looking at nearly a 40-car grid, or it could even be more. And yeah, I think that's going to be some awesome racing to watch. I think it's going to be, yeah, definitely a highlight in my V career. That one coming
Hopefully it
at the end.
stays green. Hopefully it stays green in that mid pack.
Yes, definitely.
That's what we want. Like, you don't get 30-minute qualifying session. What was that all about at Morgan Park? Like, holy hell. We had
Yeah,
to top up the fuel tanks.
yeah. No, I think it was just due to they were running less categories up there, and they
Yeah.
obviously had a bit of time up their sleeve. But yeah, 30 minutes in a V on our tire was definitely you definitely weren't setting your PBs at the end of that session.
Nah,
So
nah, nah, no need for it. I even did my very first pit stop. Mark came in at 10 minutes. I had to sit there and call him in at 10 minutes and just, redo the tires and see if you wanted any suspension adjusting or anything. Didn't make a difference, but but I got promoted from Windex guy to crew chief in one day. So
yeah, no, you're building yourself up. You'll be running a team in no time, I'm sure.
oh yeah. Somebody else's money though. Yeah. All right, buddy. Look, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for the wrap up. Congratulations up there for the 1, 2, and 3. The 3 I thought was one of the most impressive drives I've seen when you do have a little off and you're coming back in amongst the fastest of the Queenslanders, that battle pack there, and managing to force your way back through. And I've, like you said, ran out of laps just to hunt down the Tyron and Michael. But up until then, it's you three were wheel to wheel, nose to nose. So that was fantastic to watch. I'm glad I came up there to watch it all unfold.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks for the chat again, David.
All
It's
good.
always a pleasure, and I'm
We'll
sure.
see you in a couple of weeks down at PI.
Yes, definitely, mate. Catch you there.
All right, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, mate.